Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today's going to be another weapons showcase. This time we're going to showcase the Smelter sword, both of them. Put in the comments what weapons you want me to showcase next. So the run starts off like any other. You pick your starting class, your burial gift, create your character, and then make your way to Majula. Apparently the swords are just sitting on the ground next to the bonfire, so it looks like I don't have to get these the hard way. Unlike the last run, I talked to Saldron early this time for the Covenant, the Gesture, and the Ring. Then I made my way through Forge of the Fallen Giant, picked up a bunch of souls from some early levels, and then grabbed the Buckler, because yes, we'll be parry walking a lot. I checked in on Kale, he still seems to be having fun playing in the dirt, grabbed the health ring from this room full of hallows, and with a few points in health, plus the 2 rings, I could do a quick sequence break and get a late game bonfire and a free freaking branch. And with that branch, I can talk to Jugo and move Rosabeth. I'll need the Chloranthe ring even more than the Ivory King sword run, because the stamina drain is a lot higher with these 2 swords. I'm just moving up from one ultra great sword to another. I'll need another 30,000 souls for the butterfly wings, and we can easily just pick them up off of some of the hallows on the ground. And get the butterfly wings. In hindsight, I probably could have just fought Dragon Rider and skipped the picking up souls part, but the extra souls doesn't hurt. I talked to Licia. I used Dragon Rider's soul, and leveled up enough to at least wield one of the swords, and then took on Last Giant. Yeah, I kinda expected this. Not gonna lie, I probably should have fought Pursuer the regular way, but I can't change the past. Grabbed the dull ember, and then talked to Lucatiel. After unlocking Macduff, I bought a bow, and entered the tower to ruin sentinels from the back door. Yeah, this fight didn't go too well. I didn't realize how much durability the special attacks would take, until it was too late, and the fight quickly became unwinnable. Talked to Lucatiel. So instead, I shot the Balan No Man's Wharf and fought Flexel instead. And then enter Lost by Steel from the front door this time, so I can do Flex Out Century Skip. Move straight, and take on Lost Sinner with Lucatiel. And of course I grabbed the bonfire for the achievement. Then I leveled up to 40 strength. I'll need at least 60 to be able to power sense both of the weapons, plus a bunch of vitality, so it looks like I have a ways to go. I wanted to open up more of the map, so I went to Huntsman's Corpse next. I'll need this token of fidelity so I can talk to Targray, and I'll need this key so I can talk to Creighton. I decided that I wanted to do Skeleton Lord skip, but I was having some trouble. It looks like I didn't have enough stamina to make it onto the bridge. Like, maybe with perfect pathing I could make it, but I'm not that good. So instead, I decided to take a break and jump into the Well of Majula. I picked up this token of Spite for Gren, then opened up Black Gulch, and asked Lucatiel if she would help me tag team the run. She said yes, but made me do all the work. You know, if she was more of a team player, maybe her brother wouldn't. I grabbed Ron's bonfire for the achievement, and then fought the 2 giants for the key that opens up the secret door in the well, so I can pick up the DLC 1 key, Great Lightning Spear, and Soul Vortex. Then I made my way to Grave of Saints to pick up Whispers of Despair, and take on Rat Authority for Toxic Mist. Afterwards, I discovered the Rat Covenant, and then leveled up enough stamina so I can do Skeleton Lord Skip. After doing this frame perfect jump, I can meet up with Lucatil again, and then take on Covetous Demon. And Mithra, this time with the help of Jester Thomas. As I get on to later and later bosses, their health pool just gets larger and larger, so my damage tapers off pretty quick, meaning that I'll have to upgrade this weapon as soon as possible. Thankfully, most of the petrified dragon bolts that I'll need can just be picked up off the ground. I'll need 30 of them, but there are a few in Iron Keep. There are a few more you can get in Draenlight Castle, but you'll have to parry walk to them first. There's one on the way to Twin Dragon Riders, right next to this painting. We're gonna have to fight Twin Dragon Riders before we can get to the next one. But after that, we could pick up Soul Greatsword from the chest, and the Petrified Dragon Bone from the Mimic in the next room. We can grab a few more bones from Aldius Keep. And the next set will come from Dragon Airy. But first, I went to Dragon Shrine for the Egg, Crystal Magic Shield, and the Ashen Mist Heart. There are a few bones you can pick up here, but I would assume you would farm most of them from the Titanite bugs. You can also get a free bone from this Wyvern in Hades Tower. Apparently the other ones can drop them as well, but I've never seen that. But anyway, now we can fight Dark Ornstein. And talk to Targrave for Dual Bow and the Covenant. Now with these souls, I can upgrade one of my swords to +5. You know, I always found it so weird that boss weapons don't count towards the Supreme Weapon achievement, but there's nothing I can do about that. And now with this maxed out sword, I decided to test out the damage on Mirror Knight, mainly to flex on Benhart, and for the achievement. I also grabbed Soul Bolt from the chest after. And because I liked fighting with Benhart so much, I decided to do it again. this time with Giant Lord. And with him down, I can talk to Drummond to get his achievement. At the beginning of day 2, I entered the first DLC and immediately parry walked to Promise Walk of Peace. And then afterwards, I parry walked to Gang Squad's Bonfire, where I grabbed Dark Greatsword and Soul Flash. Then I pushed the usual buttons, as well as a few new ones. First, this button near the entrance of the shrine leads to 3 petrified dragon bones. And then the second button leads to a spike room with 3 more petrified dragon bones. Afterwards, I grabbed the Flint's Ring, Denial, and another 3 petrified dragon bones from the Lair of the Imperfect. I can get a bunch more from the second DLC, so all I need to do is take down Smelter Demon with Lucatiel, and then the Old Iron King on my own. Then I grabbed the DLC key, and then entered the DLC. I grabbed the wedges near the beginning, and used them on the statue near the bonfire. Then I jumped down to get Dance of Fire, and a Soul of Nadalia. I did a few speedrunner jumps to get to the foyer bonfire early. There's a damaged wall in the room under the foyer bonfire that you can break open if you bring a bomb hollow. Blow him up next to the crack in the wall, and you can get 8 petrified dragon bones. In the next tower, I jumped down the ladder to get Recollection, and off of the ledge to get the Smelter Wedge. I decided that I wanted to take on the DLC fights power stancing the weapons, so instead of moving on to the fights, I talked to Langrass to max out the other sword, and took a pit stop in Shaded Woods to take down Nashka. Then I moved on to Dora Pharaohs to pick up Twisted Barricade, and then fought Rat Authority for Acid Surge. Next I took on Magnus with Benhart, talked to Cromwell, and took on Freya. Twice for Crystal Soul Spear. I accidentally consumed Rat Vanguard's soul, so I had to fight him again for Toxic Mist. And while I was out refighting bosses, I might as well fight Giant Lord again for the souls. I fought Sinner again for Flame Weapon, Old Iron King for Blinding Bolt, and then Rotten for Numbness. I grabbed a pair from the chest in the Shaded Woods, as well as Chameleon from the Poison Pit in Earthen Peak. I went to Shrine of Amana to grab Fire Tempest from the chest, and Homing Crystal Soul Mask from this body. Next on, I took on Demon of Song, then I made my way to Agdane to buy his spells and the Have Mercy gesture, grabbed the Crushed Eye Orb, the Bracing Knuckle Ring, and then after a quick sequence break, we can flip this switch, and take on Velstadt. And then by extension, pick up the King's Ring, and take on Vendrick. I wanted to tackle some of the quests, so I talked to Benhart and then Lucatiel for their achievements.
Thanks.
At some point I got the achievement for getting all the NPCs, so I have no problem buying all of Lycia's spells and then taking her on for Bountiful Sunlight. And then after cleaning out most of Straight's spells, I moved on to Rune Sentinels for Homing Crystal Soul Arrow, and Hush. Now it's time for Dark Lurker. After picking up Homing Soul Mass, I talked to Gandalf in all 3 locations, and then talked to Marigold again for the Covenant and his spell. Then I grabbed Chaos Storm from Iron Keep, and then went to Draenlight Castle to take on Dark Lurker. Afterwards, I picked up the Sunlight Staff from Felkin, and then took on Executioner's Chariot. So I could talk to Gren for his pyromancies. Now all I have to do for this playthrough is take on the final fights. So next up is Dawnwatcher and Defender. And then the Sandra. And with that out of the way, I can now talk to Gilligan, Kale, and Navlan for their quests. Now it's time to clean up the DOC. I put in the staff, went down the elevator and grabbed the tower key, and then took this big jump that leads to the sorcery clutch ring, the next 4 statues, and Fume Knight. Now I can grab the last set of wedges, put them in their statues, and take on Sir Alwan. Afterwards, I entered the 3rd DLC for Dark Dance, Splintering Lightning Bolt, and Soul Flash. Afterwards, I moved on to get the Supreme Weapon achievement, as well as Macduff's, discovered the Covenant of Champions, and then farmed Sunlight Meadows. Thankfully, one of the Valshineers was rich, it dropped a bunch. Then I talked to Tark for warm-up, discovered the Sunlight Covenant, and then got Sunlight Spear and the Praise the Sun gesture. Then I went back to Drummond to get Hurrah. Then I went back to farm Mad Warrior for Hidden Weapon and the Master of Sorceries achievement. At the dawn of the final day, I started my NG Plus playthrough. You know how the NG Plus run goes. I made my way to Valencia so I could buy a branch, move Worlds of Beth, and then make my way all the way to Dragon Shrine, for the Ashen Mist Heart, and take down Giant Lord. Then I parry walked around the King's Gate to take on the final fight again. And I took on the final fight for the last time in this run. Then on the next playthrough, I just need the branch from Valencia to move Rosabeth. Now it's time to go to Draenleic Castle and to finish the run. And then finally talk to Welliger. And that's the end of the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed the run as much as I did. The Smelter swords are great, and the paired strong attack absolutely chunks bosses. I'm going to put them in S tier, but just under the Ivory King sword. The damage you can get out of these swords is phenomenal. The only real caveats with them being the high stat requirements, the power stance, and the durability drain from the special. But a couple repair powders will fix that right up. Thank you all for watching, and stay safe.